All right, welcome everyone. I have a special guest today. Her name is Michelle Cunningham. And as you know, I'm Jasmine Pather with Photo Booth International Podcast. So to tell you a little bit about Michelle, she's a former top network marketer for over 17 years. Michelle's used video to attract business on autopilot and now empowers entrepreneurs around the globe with her trainings. She is a creator of the Video Creator Classroom, which shows entrepreneurs how to show up authentically online to attract more business. And her strategies bring in more leads and more sales to any entrepreneur looking to put their business on autopilot while working less and living more. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Jasmine.
Wonderful. So you have to tell me, how is it that you ended up in direct sales and network marketing?
Yeah, it's a great question. I was 23 years old. I had just graduated college and I had grown up incredibly poor. And I always share that story because I think sometimes people hear a success story and they assume everything was easy from the get-go. But my mom was a single mom of 3 kids and we just grew up with like nothing. And so we would get food from our church occasionally and Christmas gifts from people in our community. And so I come from really humble beginnings. And so graduated college, landed my dream job as a pharmaceutical sales rep, and thought I would do that for the rest of my life. But I was like feeling like, is this really what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? You know that feeling if you've ever been in a corporate job and you're an entrepreneur, right? And I just felt trapped. And I was like I'm working really hard, but everyone else around me doesn't really care. And like, they're just trying to get by. And there's nothing about me that just wants to get by. I want to succeed and like take over the world while helping a million people. And the people around me didn't think like that. And I thought, maybe I'm meant for more, you know? And so got my job in pharmaceutical sales. And it was at that time, 23 years old, one of my coworkers' wives said, hey, I sell this product alongside my business. You want to come to this event at a hotel? And there's a lady in the room claiming to make 6 figures. There's another one that's a millionaire. There's another one that's driving a free car. And I'm 23 years old sitting in the audience with a job that I now hate. And I'm like, this is amazing. And I go home and tell my mom. And my mom's like, that is a scam. And I'm like, no, mom, like, this is really amazing. But, you know, this is 17 years ago. 17 years ago, there was not really a lot of people in direct sales and network marketing. So, you know, to my mom's point, it was like, well, yeah, I guess like it could be a scam. But I signed up anyway. And the first 6 years, I did not succeed because I am an introvert by nature. I've overcome that now. People are like, you're not an introvert. I'm like, well, I'm in a room by myself. That's why I'm very loud right now. But a room with a bunch of people talking, I'm like, So I joined and there was no text message and no Facebook back then. So they're like, you have to build a business by walking up to strangers. And I'm like, oh, that's horrifying. I'm like, are people doing that? Because I'm not doing that. So I proceeded to tell no one I was involved for the next 6 years. And it wasn't until I was 29 years old, I was fed up enough with my job. And that's when I decided to make a commitment to make this work. And that's when everything started to change for me.
Wow, I love that. I can really resonate with your story because prior to joining Josh, my husband, and joining forces with the business, I was also in the pharmacy world, but I was a pharmacy tech.
Oh, crazy.
And I was also just kind of coming home frustrated and just kind of crying almost every day because management sucked. There was favoritism. It was just a whole mess. And I just needed a change. I needed something different. So I love that.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Pharmacy tech is an easy gig. So
yeah, definitely. It's really interesting how you think you're onto one path and then things change and you end up in a completely different path that you never even thought possible. Yep. So I love that. And I love that you went for it, even though your mom said, I don't know.
Something
told you.
I don't know if it's scam on. The company had, at that point, the company had been around for 40 years. I'm like, if it's a scam, it doesn't exist for 40 years. Mom.
Yeah, how could it still be operating?
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm like, I don't think it's a scam. And so, yeah, it was kind of fun to have the success that I had and pick her up in my company car, like the top luxury Cadillac. And like, hey, Mom. And then loved it. Then she would go around and say, don't you know who my daughter is? She was so funny.
Nice. She was able to actually change her opinion about all that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, since you mentioned that you're an introvert by nature, I also resonate with that. How were you able to get past that? I know you said you got to a point where you were fed up, but what happened in your mind to say, okay, yes, I'm an introvert, but that doesn't matter. That's not going to stop me.
Yeah, it's a great question. I was 29 years old and I was fed up enough with my situation, right? And I
Mhm.
think there comes a crossing point for a lot of people that you're just like, you know what? I could continue to stay on this path in this job that I hate with these negative Nancy's and the politics and the office drama. I could continue on that path, or I could say, you know what? I am made for more than that. And I just made a decision at 29 years old. I was dating my now husband, and
Mhm.
we had moved in together, and we were like, he's like, just do what makes you happy. And so I was like, you know what? All right. I'm going to quit my job. And for 6 months, I'm going to give it all that I have in this direct sales thing. I'm going to give all that I have. And so instead of treating it like a little hobby, which
Mhm.
when you treat anything like a hobby, you get paid like a hobby. But when you treat something like a business, and I said to myself, if I've been spending 40 hours a week killing myself for someone else, actually, it was like 60 hours a week. It was something
Mhm.
insane, right? If I just took that 60 hours and converted it into a new business where I'm out doing income producing activities, meeting new people, messaging people on Facebook, connecting with people, like doing the things that make me money and reaching more people, then it certainly would work.
Mhm.
And it certainly did work. 6 months later, I had built a team, earned the company car, replaced my income, and then it just
Wow.
exponentially grew from there by continuing that same activity. So
Mhm.
it was just it was a I don't care, I'm leaving. But I will say that first year, I left a 6-figure income, right? And that first year, I was like a true entrepreneur where I lived with less, right? Like I was like, no getting my nails done. I'm not going to be getting massages anymore. I won't be like, I remember eating a third of a piece of a gum because I was like, that's a splurge right now. You can't afford gum. Like I cut everything. I did no Starbucks. I went to Aldi's and bought coffee and brewed it at home. Like I did anything so that I could just cut down what I was spending so I could build
Mhm.
an empire. And so, I mean, I that's a great idea. I think literally some people are so scared to leave their safe job. I'm like, no, just live with less for a little while. And then you will build something even bigger that's all yours. And it's so empowering and so much more fun.
Definitely. Just sacrifice a little,
Yeah.
for the big gain at the end of the day. And I love that. Um, a lot of people don't want to make the sacrifices, so they just end up settling for that job, that you hate, and you think that that's what life is. But it's not until you kind of cut ties and then you're kind of off on your own and you're having to make these decisions that you realize, okay, I have the power to do something here.
Yes.
So
I
that's
love
awesome. I love
it.
that. I love the zero to a hero stories. Those are my favorite stories.
Yeah. Mine,
Um,
yeah, definitely that story. It's more relatable, I think.
so obviously you said that there wasn't any social media. I mean, 17 years ago, things were different, but as soon as social media came into the picture, how were you able to leverage social media to connect with people and, connect with people even though you're that introvert that you mentioned? And
Yeah.
get past that, because a lot of people are scared to record themselves, or they don't like the way that they sound or the way that they look. And so how did you get past that?
Yeah. It's a great question. I just made this very conscious decision. Like, I wanted to help people, right? And so I stopped thinking that it was about me, and I started realizing that no, it was about who could I serve. And
Mm-hmm.
so even though I was like, well, I'm introverted, or people might think I'm annoying, it was like, you know what? It's not about you. It's not ever about us. It's about who can we serve. There's someone out there that is less secure, or that doesn't have the knowledge, or that needs the information, or that this is an aha to them. And I can literally change their life by deciding to show up. And so I just made that conscious decision, like, you know what? I'm having success in direct sales. I'm going to start making YouTube videos telling
Mm-hmm.
people how to have success in direct sales. So I would just say, here's what I did today, and this is what worked, and this is how I got new people on my team and sold more product. And I started making those videos. And inadvertently, I didn't know this is what I was doing, but I started to attract people to me. And those people started to like what I was sharing. And then at the end, I would always have my kids, who were like 3 and 0 at the time. And I'd have them at the end, and the videos are still out there. Direct Sales Michelle is my YouTube, but they're at the end, they're spilling things or making a mess in the house, or like I look like a train wreck, like really relatable mom stuff. So you see this like perfectly lady with the perfect background to like, look at me, I'm a train wreck. And it was just kind of funny and relatable, but people would start to message me and they would say, hey, I really like your style, like what you're training on. You know, I've been following you for a year. I actually want to join your team. I'm in a different company. It looks like what you do is easier. And I was like, huh. At first I thought it was a scam. Like no one would do that. And then, you know, I realized like, cause this was a few years ago, this was like 6 years ago before like people would really reach out to you online. Like it wasn't so different. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm actually onto something. And the more studying of it I started to do, I realized this is called attraction marketing, where you provide value, you serve your audience, and in return, you attract people who follow you and eventually want to either join your team, buy what you have. And, you know, what's interesting is I left the industry in November. So 17 years with the same company. I left a very large team, over 1,000 reps and millions of dollars in sales per year. But I left because I had built such an online following that I'm now a course creator and I help other people own their awesome. And so you never know what pushing record will do for you, because without having pushed record on YouTube and without building a following and without having people want to join my team, I wouldn't have had the success that I had in network marketing. And then I wouldn't have had the following I had to then start selling courses and CDs and books, you know, all the stuff that I have. And so I always joke that if video was a thing that I could like hug, like I would hug video, because without video, I don't know what my life would look like. I would be sitting in a cubicle rotting somewhere, like, oh, hey, my life, because I didn't want to step out into my greatness. And I will say to people, they'll say, well, you were great. You know, that's why you could do it. I'm like, no. I was not the greatest in my company. I had a team of about 50. There was people above me, way above me. But I decided to own my awesome before I was awesome. And that's my message to everybody, is start owning your awesome before you feel awesome. I love that. Right? Just own your awesome before you are awesome. And I did. And I started to just show up and be like this, hey, here I am. I got great information. And guess what? It annoyed some people. They don't follow you. And it attracted other people. They follow you. And so the beautiful thing about video is it attracts your followers and it detracts the people that think you're annoying, which is a beautiful thing. So the people that are annoyed don't watch. They disappear. And then all the people stay. So it's wonderful.
But then you build this beautiful tribe of Michelle. You know, it's almost like your friends, right? Because I'm sure, like you said, some of them message you because they can relate to you on that level of being a mother, but also owning a business. So I'm sure that's very inspiring for a lot of women, because there's this, you know, there's still a lot of stigmas that we have to break through as women. And seeing someone do it all, I'm sure is very inspiring to some women, because they might have never thought, you know, that there was more to just being a stay-at-home mom. And you've given them that ability to think further than that. So I think that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all because you were able to just push through and start recording, like you said. And I love that. Own your awesome before you're awesome. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Own your awesome before you're awesome. Right.
I love that. Love it. So then what would you tell, what tips would you have for someone who is just starting off and wanting to grow on social media?
Yeah, I would just say, I'll give you 3 tips. Number 1, I would say that it's really important to get some nice photos made, some professional photos, or iPhones nowadays and Androids take really great photos. So do a photo shoot with someone in your family, right? So go outside, take some full body shots, have like 20 different outfits lined up, take 3 hours and be like, dude, I'm awesome. And it feels awkward if you don't feel awesome. Like I remember the first time I did this, I was like, hey, don't you know who I am? I'm telling you. Those photos are really important because you can use them on your banners. You can use them in your imagery. You can use them on posts. I got them printed on CDs, like I'm Beyonce or somebody, right? But the cool thing is when you have a good photo, you can use that on a lot of things. So literally then get your photos. That's number 1. Number 2, because I'm watching the other people do it. Like the people that are succeeding, I'm like, let's take a look at their page. Oh, got it. Look really good in a photo. Step number 1. Let's do that. Step number 2 is get a banner made. So if we're on Facebook or we're on YouTube, and I have a branding course that teaches this, but attract your tribe and let them know what you're all about in your banner, right? So for me, I teach, I teach a few different things, but my main target audience is direct sellers who want to live a better life, And so my tagline is something along those lines. It's women direct sellers, and that's what my tagline is. So let people know when they arrive at their page what they can expect. and really call out your audience. I said women direct sellers, right? Some people say I help all women. Like, so you help 19-year-olds and you help 99-year-olds. You know, you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So it's better to build a niche on a very specific audience. So pretty banner, and then the nice tagline. And then number 3 on my list would be consistency. Show up regularly. 1 YouTube video a week for sure. Facebook Lives, the more often you can go live, the better. I try to go live 3 times a week on Facebook, but you can do watch parties and kind of replay some stuff too. So consistency is definitely key.
Love that. I mean, which platform do you feel like you've gained the most, followers, that you've been able to connect with more people?
Yeah. So between my 2 YouTube channels, I have 50,000 followers, which some people will say that's a lot, and some people will say it's not a lot, depending on who you ask. But I have turned that into millions of dollars in revenue.
Wow.
And so YouTube for me has been my biggest. And then people come over to be able to connect with me, every day. They're on Facebook. So they come over to Facebook, and then I've got a group on Facebook. It's like my tribe for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
It's called my Build It Big Freedom Tribe. So they come over there, and then we're all connected there, and we all share ideas and tips. So, but YouTube, I would say, is my most followers out of all my platforms.
And I think it's because, and that would be the same for us as well. I think it's because they feel like they get to really know you on that personal level. And it's just like you're talking to a friend, right?
Yes.
And they're able to just make that connection and relate to you so much better than if you just post pictures and you've never recorded a video. So I love that.
What's your channel?
I'm sorry?
I got to follow your channel. What's your channel?
It's Photo Booth International on YouTube. So we do a lot of testimonials and like a little bit of behind the scenes. So you'll see a lot of Josh. So I'm working on building building up the courage to be online a lot more. So that's what I'm working on. But everything you said is right on. I mean, the consistency is really the key. That's when we've been able to kind of see the most growth in followers or connections, is when we post regularly. So yeah, that's definitely the key.
Platform favors that for sure.
Definitely. What would you say is the biggest misconception about sales?
Oh, I think that and I used to think this, that you have to sell something. And I don't think that to be true. I think that in sales, you have to help people. You find a solution, right? So it's just when you start thinking differently. I used to hate when I first joined direct sales that I had to sell something, which is why I struggled for 6 years. And then I changed my thinking to, I offer something that is going to change someone's life. That's going to make their life infinitely easier. And you can do it with no matter what, like photo booths, like, hello, like here's a way to make money and work from home and set your own hours and be an entrepreneur. You can think about, like, that is a gift. I would be like, no, you need to consider this, because you can you can change your life and have this amazing lifestyle. And so, so thinking about it, about how it can really impact someone's life and change and bring joy, like photo booths. Are you kidding me? I love a photo booth. Photo booth. I'll wait in line, and then I take a lot of photos and I get back in line again. I'm that girl. But they bring so much joy to the world. What a happy, amazing company. That's amazing. But I started thinking like that with my product. I was selling skincare and makeup. Yeah, like skincare and makeup makes women feel better. When they feel better on the outside, they're better on the inside. They show up as better wives and mothers, right? Like all of those little things. So I truly believe when you start to think about how your product impacts someone's life and makes their life better, then it all becomes easy, a lot easier.
Yeah, because instead of feeling like you're forcing a product onto someone, or that you're having to convince someone that the product is good, you're more so focused on, I have something that can help you. Therefore, I would be doing you a disservice by not sharing this information with you.
Yeah.
So it's just that shift in that mindset that makes the biggest difference. Because I know the word sales is so intimidating to some people. Yeah. And immediately, as soon as they hear that, they're like, nope, not for me. I can never sell. But I once heard, I can't remember if it was on YouTube or a podcast somewhere. It might have been actually Tony Robbins that said, people get so intimidated by sales, but they don't ever stop to think that they sell every day. I mean, when you think about it, if someone says, Michelle, what's your favorite restaurant? And you love the Italian mom and pop restaurant down the street, you already start talking about your favorite spaghetti and meatballs, and the sauce is so good. You're selling someone on that dish, and you're selling them on going to that restaurant. You don't even realize it. You're just sharing because you're like, okay, they have to try the spaghetti and meatballs there. It's so delicious. And next thing you know, the person's like, hey, Michelle, Josh and I went to that restaurant. Oh my God, it's so good. And without realizing, you made that connection and you convinced that person to go try that dish at that favorite restaurant. So
yes, totally.
That's another way to look at it.
I love that.
Yeah. So obviously, I know that you are a mom of two, 4-year-old and 7-year-old, correct?
Yep, he just turned 8, but yeah, we're in 8 now.
Wow. So how do you manage being a business owner and full-time mom?
Yeah, well, it's different during the pandemic because I used to have a nanny and now I don't. So so it's just like, the kids knew, like right now they're on their iPads. It's like, mommy's got to go upstairs and do a thing, and then I'll come back down and then we'll play.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to jump on a call right after this, and so I'll go play with them for 15 minutes and I'm back up. So it's just kind of that, and I stay up late. Like I get them down to bed. I mean, they still go to bed late. They go to bed like 10, but then I'll stay up till like 1 or 2, and I'll get a lot of things done. And so I just find time to work, right? And I think that's the beauty of owning your own business. I don't have to be anywhere really at a specific time unless I'm doing a call with you, right? Mm-hmm. But like for the most part, I can do a lot of my building my courses and launching my stuff and sending my emails. I can set all that stuff on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Post Planner is my new favorite thing. It's Post Planner posts all your Facebook posts for you. And
Post Planner.
Girl, I'm telling you, I set this up last week because I've been feeling stressed about, like, I want to be with the kids, but I want to post these profound posts. Here's what's amazing about it. I literally set up 4 posts that go out a day to my 2 different business pages that I manage, and then it recycles them. So,
wow.
Girl, isn't that amazing? So what happens is they go out, and then like if you put enough in, I put out like 3 months worth, and I'm watching to see which ones got engagement and which ones were stupid. So I'm deleting stupid ones, but the ones that get like hundreds and hundreds of comments, they're going to run again in 3 months. No one's going to remember I posted that 3 months ago.
I love that.
You could get this whole machine running. So Post Planner is my new best friend. And OneStream is the other one that I'm really starting to. OneStream allows you to take pre-recorded videos and stream them live. So people think you are live on Facebook, right? So that's another beautiful OneStream.live, I think is what it is. And I haven't got that whole system set up yet, but I want to get that machine running also.
Yeah.
Those systems help tremendously.
Yeah. Leveraging the tools, right? Leveraging the tools and making sure to simplify things for yourself. So I love what you said. You realized that was a pain point, that you were feeling a little bit overwhelmed or stressed out about your posting. And so you went and you searched for, there has to be something that can help me.
Yep.
So often we just being more aware of those pain points allows us to find a solution, because you're not the only one that's feeling that way, right? So it's very likely there's already a solution out there.
Totally.
But I agree with you. OneStream, we actually use that as well. And it's a really good way to, like you said, post a video as if it's live. And we do see some engagement on that. So that's pretty cool. And that's interesting. A lot of people don't ever think that they can reuse content. So that's a great tip, I think, that you just gave there.
Yeah, it's super smart. I learned it. Actually, someone else was just saying, like, they go back to their old October post when it's October and they post whatever they posted last October. They'll run a watch party from last October on Facebook, or they'll re-engage with a post from back then and repost it again, or re-engage with it. So one idea about Post Planner, when it said it recycled the post, I was like, oh, game on. Like,
we're going to have to look into that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I was so excited. And it's just, I feel less stressed this week just knowing that I go online and like it's engagement everywhere. And I'm like, yay, I'm just cleaning my house right now. This is so great.
Yeah, and I was looking at your Instagram page, and you have over 10,000 followers. And yeah. I love that you have a little bit of everything, and it doesn't look like you. I know there's people who really curate their feed to look a certain way, and it almost looks too cookie cutter, too perfect. Whenever I look at your posts, I mean, I see your kids, I see you, I see, a power statement there. I love the variety, and it just comes across as a lot more authentic than one of those cookie cutters with the same filter all throughout.
Yeah.
So I
I
think,
don't know. Part of me wants to be that cookie cutter girl on Instagram, but I'm just not really an Instagrammer. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, what can I do? And I much prefer video. So I go
mhm.
to Instagram and I'm like, it doesn't look good. And then it just, so I appreciate your compliment, because in my head, I'm like, I think I need to make this look like the other, those
Yeah.
influencers. They look all influency.
Yeah, I mean, they look nice, but at the end of the day, I think it's all about relatability. And so you're a mom, you're a business owner. It shows here. Obviously, you incorporate all of those into your page. And I think maybe if it was that cookie cutter, I mean, it's beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But maybe for your brand, another mom might be like, oh, maybe she seems to have things put together. Maybe I don't think I can achieve that level. Might put them off and might not make them look into you further. That's just what I'm thinking out loud. But I just love how it just comes across as really authentic. And just as someone like, oh wow, I would like to be her friend.
Yeah, I'm just like not really that girl that's like, let me take pictures of myself posing in my cool outfit. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't really have the cool outfit because I don't really care about shopping. And so for me, it's just weird a little. So I'm like, here's food. Here's my kids.
Mhm,
More
mhm.
food. Here's me once this week. I don't know. So yeah, Instagram, I have a love-hate relationship with.
I think people can sense when someone is being raw and real. So I mean, I can see how that is something that I get from your Instagram, and just how you said earlier, you've showed kind of the chaos behind the scenes on YouTube. Again, it's that relatability that people connect to. So I love that. Now, what tips do you have for someone who's had to pivot during the present situation?
Yeah. I was thinking about that in the car today. Sorry, these lights are like whacking my face. I forgot to turn them. I would say that I was thinking about it in the car that the first week of the pandemic, I was really like sad. I was like, I would wake up and be like, it feels like a bad nightmare that wouldn't go away.
Hmm.
And then I just said, you know what? It's a new normal. Just adjust to this new normal. I am very logical to think, like, I knew in that first week, like, I know everyone says it'll be gone in a week. It's not going to be, though. Like, there's no chance. And I knew this would not be just a 2-month thing. I knew that I remember talking to my mom, we're like, this is like 18 months. Like, this is, maybe even longer. Right. And so I just kind of adjusted in my brain to a new normal. And I think the blessing for introverts right now is we're like, we've been preparing for this moment our whole life.
Thriving.
I'm like, yes, I can be home and organize my house, and I have no plans. I have no commitments. I must do nothing. And like, I love it. Like, it was sad at first, but now I'm like, but this is fantastic. I've organized my closet. I organized the room behind the basement room, that room that you put everything in.
Mhm.
I organized everything out of that room. I organized it. And, I'm doing that like strategically throughout the house. So I feel like, yay, I'm organizing. My life is peaceful. I don't have commitments. And so I believe that God's given us this as a gift right now. And so some people will come out of this better, and some people will come out of this not better. But you need to like look at it as an opportunity to hit reset and write that book or create that course or do whatever it is that you want to do, but optimize your whole life. And that's what I look at this as a chance to optimize.
I love that. Have you changed your messaging across like the content that you've been releasing according to the pandemic?
Totally. It was just, I get a lot of emails, like probably too many. I need to unsubscribe from some people, but I like to read their emails.
Yes.
And that first week, I remember that the emails that were coming in didn't match up, right? It was almost like people were a week behind, and then the commercials were still, like Match.com was like, never been a better time to get out and meet someone. I'm like, actually, that's not true. Match.com. Time right now, but and then finally caught up, and the messaging was, we are in this together. And even like I sell courses and launch courses. And so my messaging, I think we were going to launch something really big that week, right when the pandemic hit. And I talked to my marketing team and I'm like, no, like ethically, we just serve people right now. We just need to help people.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I still sell courses and we're still very profitable during this time, but I had to change the way I sold the courses. I can't just send an email and say, hey, I'm selling this, buy it like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey, I'm doing a free webinar. Come watch my free webinar. I'm going to provide insane value, which I do. I give you so much insane value in my webinar that you could actually go off and do what I'm going to train. And then, but if you want me to hold your hand, you can buy my course.
Yeah.
And that strategy has worked. So we've changed to a whole webinar-based approach right now in our marketing. And I'm providing way more value by going live even more frequently and just serving people, because I know people are hurting. I know this is not easy for people. And so I feel for people. My heart hurts for them. And it's like, who can we help by just by serving more? So it's just kind of that mindset.
Yeah, there you go. So change the messaging so that you don't come across like, insensitive person. Give me your money. Yeah. Anytime you base anything around how can I help, I think that you're on the right path. So that was amazing. Thank you. You shared so many great pieces of information. I love the be awesome before you're awesome. That was,
awesome. I love it.
I'm going to have to write that down and post it here somewhere as a reminder.
Yeah. You are super awesome. I listen to you and I'm like, you are such a calming, amazing influence. Like, I would watch your YouTube channel all day long. And so the gift that you have is you're super authentic and super amazing. And when I listen to you, I'm like, she's a total pro on camera. And you would bring so much calmness and peace and happy. I'm even like, I talk too fast. I got to slow it down because you're so chill, and so you have such a gift. So I love your questions are amazing. Everything about this is amazing. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you?
So MichelleCunningham.com, MICHELLE, Cunningham.com is my website. And that's got links to all my different platforms. YouTube, I'm Direct Sales Michelle. And Instagram, I'm Direct Sales Michelle. And Facebook, I'm Direct Sales Michelle. I'm the same on all of them, actually.
Easy peasy. There you have it. So everywhere she's Direct Sales Michelle, guys. So go ahead and follow her. We'll also post all the links to your social media handles down below. And so thank you again for being on. I appreciate you coming on and just sharing a little bit about where you come from, how you got into this, and how you've been able to pivot during this crazy time. So thank you so much. And we look forward to connecting more now that we're friends.
Yes.
And if anyone is interested in her handles, we'll post them down below. So this is Jasmine Pather signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Bye.